Jing Yuan, he comes out in just under a week now, and he looks absolutely amazing. He looks really good. But should you summon for him, or should you wait for the 1.1 banners to come out? That being Silverwolf and Luocha, however you say his name. And this is more so for the free-to-play players or very light spenders that don't get every character and don't plan on getting every character. We're basically going to talk about what you potentially could need to actually beat content in the game versus like how good characters are and stuff like that. So guys, if you didn't know already, Jing Yuan is a new addition, lightning type unit, meaning he's an AoE damage dealer that can also do some good single target damage as well. And what his main shtick is he summons a lightning lord in, which is kind of like a stand or Susanoo from Naruto. I don't know. Kind of how this works is when you use the path of abundance in your simulated universe and you get that extra turn from when the abundance character actually heals you, the lightning lord's going to be acting the same way, meaning he's going to be like an extra player on the field and attacking the enemies outside of Jing Yuan's attacks, because Jing Yuan has his own attacks, he has his own ultimate, own skills, he has his own turn as well as the lightning lord too. And ultimately Jing Yuan's attacks do play into the lightning lord's damage and how much he can move. His skill is an AoE attack that deals lightning damage equal to 50% of Jing Yuan's attack to all enemies and increases the lightning lord's attack count by 2 for the next turn. His ultimate's also an AoE attack that deals lightning damage equal to 120% of Jing Yuan's attack to all enemies and increases the lightning lord's attack count for 3 for the next turn. And his talent is the thing that actually summons the lightning lord in, but I'll just go over it really quick. The lightning lord has 60 base speed and has 3 base attack count, and his attacks are considered follow-up attacks, meaning you can take the perseverance pass, I think it is, for the simulated universe for follow-up attacks and stuff like that, so you can actually make use of some of those buffs using him in simulated universes. But each count of the lightning lord's attack deals lightning damage equal to Jing Yuan's attack to a single enemy, whose adjacent targets also receive lightning damage equal to 25% of the damage dealt to the main target. The lightning lord attack count can reach a max of 10. Every time the lightning lord's attack count is increased by 1, its speed is increased by 10. After the action ends, speed and the attack count will return to their base values. When Jing Yuan is knocked down, the lightning lord will disappear. Basically how I interpret it, he is just really good at AoE lightning damage, and he's a great unit for the lightning type category as far as DPS goes. So this is like a direct replacement for Serval. So if you don't like leveling up your Serval, then by all means go for him, but listen to what I have to say about the other 2 characters coming out. Mainly Luocha. So first, Silverwolf's an Anhility quantum character, meaning she's mainly there for stacking debuffs upon the enemy. But first, let's talk about her skills, and then we'll talk about why you should maybe summon for her. Starting off, her skill is really good. She's going to deal quantum damage to the enemy to a single enemy, and then she has a chance to add 1 weakness to the enemy, which is the same type of a random ally's attack type that lasts for 3 turns, and it also reduces the enemy's damage resistance to that attack type by 20%. There's also a 100% chance to reduce the damage resistance of the enemy by 12% for 3 turns. So this is really good, especially for something like simulated universes or even the Hall of Ancient Memories, because her skill, like it says, is going to allow you to put different type of weaknesses on the enemy, meaning you don't have to come in with a fully structured team. But say you bring a Sele into a fight that doesn't have a quantum debuff and you use Silverwolf's ability, it can potentially give a weakness of quantum to the enemy, meaning you'll be able to shield break now with her, which this makes her really good. And we haven't even talked about the ultimate yet. The ultimate has a chance to decrease the enemy's defense by a certain amount for 3 turns. At the same time, it deals damage equal to Silverwolf's attack of quantum damage, meaning she's going to have a stretch. She's just like Pela, basically, is going to decrease the target's defense by a certain percentage, which is really good. Like I said, defensive shred is amazing in these games. And then her talent is actually really interesting too. Silverwolf can create 3 types of bugs: reduced attack, reduced defense, or reduced speed. Every time Silverwolf attacks, she has a base chance to implant a random bug that lasts for 2 turns on the enemy. So if you increase the effect hit rate on her, you're absolutely smacking them with a bunch of different debuffs. So I think this is for sure a good option to summon for, because the amount of debuffs you get out of this and the amount of debuffing the enemy you actually get out of this can actually help you out quite a bit. So if you need like an extra debuff or just need something to help you get through some extra content, I feel like this is a great character to summon for, just because of the fact it adds so many debuffs to the enemies. It'll also make content easier all around for you by having her on your team. Now guys, let's talk about Luocha. So his skill is going to immediately store a single ally's HP equal to a certain percentage of Luocha's attack plus a certain amount, plus 160 at base. He also gains 1 stack of Abyss Flower. When an ally's HP drops below 50%, Luocha will immediately use his skill 1 time on this ally without consuming a skill point. This effect can be triggered again when the conditions are met after Luocha takes 2 actions. So his heal is kind of similar to that of Natasha's, except it adds in that extra healing for characters that fall below 50% of their HP. This is really good for like your Harmony units or your DPS units. If they fall below 50%, you're getting them that heal immediately instead of actually having to wait for his turn. His ultimate's going to dispel 1 enemy buff and deal imaginary damage equal to a certain percentage of his attack to all enemies. For every enemy buff dispelled, Luocha gains 1 stack of Abyss Flower. And then finally his talent. When the Abyss Flower is stacked 3 times, Luocha consumes all stacks to deploy a field against an enemy. When the enemy on the field is attacked by an ally, the ally immediately restores HP equal to a certain percentage of Luocha's attack plus a certain amount. This field lasts for 2 turns. So you're just getting a bunch of healing off of him. And that's why I say you're absolutely going to need him if you don't have Bailu for the Hall of Memories, because in the Hall of Memories, it comes a certain point in time where you actually have to have 2 teams. And if you don't have 2 healers, you are not beating the Hall of Memories. So if you're going to even try to compete in the Hall of Memories, eventually you are going to need 2 healers, because you just will not survive both the ways if you do not have 2 healers. They'll just do too much damage to you and you can't survive them. So you are going to need 2 healers for the Hall of Memories until some other units come out that maybe give passive heals to the team. But beyond this, you are going to need those 2 healers. And that's why I think you probably should wait and hold off to summon for Luocha, because Luocha is a healer and we don't have very many of those in the game. We only have 2 in the game right now. And if you haven't pulled Bailu, that means you only have 1, the free-to-play Natasha, which I'm not saying is bad by any means. I think she's pretty good. But having that second healer really comes in clutch. I honestly think pulling for Luocha is a top priority if you don't have 2 healers already. As much as it pains me to say this, I think Jing Yuan is probably the least a priority. Even though he looks really cracked and really good, I think he's a low priority as far as like free-to-play and light spenders go, just because we already have Serval in the game. And I know what people say, Serval doesn't do damage. That's a cap and a half. I don't care what the community tier list says. Serval does do decent damage, and you can use her to break shields. You can use her to do damage. You can use her to do everything you would normally do with Jing Yuan. Jing Yuan just does it 100 times better. I honestly think Silverwolf is still a better value than Jing Yuan is. I think the debuff that she provides is actually pretty invaluable to the team. I think this will be really handy against almost every single opponent in the game, just because she is adding that weakness to the enemy, whereas Jing Yuan is really only going to be good against enemies that are weak to lightning. So yeah, guys, as far as my priority list goes, I would say Luocha if you don't have 2 healers, Silverwolf if you really don't want Jing Yuan, and go for Jing Yuan if you want him. You know, play the game how you want. If you want Jing Yuan, summon for Jing Yuan. I think he does have the least amount of value between these 3 characters, but I am pulling for Jing Yuan because I love Daddy Jing Yuan, and no one's gonna fucking stop me. Even after making this video today and seeing what the other 2 characters do, I'm still pulling for Jing Yuan, and you're not gonna stop me, and no one is. And you shouldn't let anyone stop you either if you want to pull for Jing Yuan. Anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you found this helpful. If you did, maybe drop a subscribe. If you didn't, then leave a dislike on the video, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, guys, I'm hopping off for today's video. I'll see you guys in the next one later. Bye-bye.